is Ahmad, said Talha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. We are on chapter number 16. And thank you so very much for being with me and for joining me and for subscribing my channel. So, the chapter number 16 is worship. In accordance with these last two words, he now began to speak about the angel and the revelations to those who, after his wife, were the nearest and dearest to him. As yet, he had no demands to make upon them except that they should not divulge his secret. But this situation did not last long. Jibreel came to him one day on the high ground above Makkah and struck with his heel the turf of the hillside, whereupon a spring gushed forth from it. Then he performed the ritual ablution to show the Prophet how to purify himself for worship, and the Prophet followed his example. Then he showed him the postures and movements of the prayer, the standing, the inclining, the prostrating, and the sitting, with the repeated magnification. This is the words Allahu Akbar, God is most great, and the final greeting, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. And again the Prophet followed his example. Then the angel left him, and the Prophet returned to his house and taught Khadija all that he had learned, and they prayed together. The religion was now established on the basis of the ritual purification and prayer, and after Khadija, the first to embrace it were Ali and Zayd, and the Prophet's friend Abu Bakr of the Decline of Time. Ali was only 10 years old. Zayd had as yet no influence in Makkah, but Abu Bakr was liked and respected, for he was a man of wide knowledge, easy manners, and an agreeable presence. Many would come to consult him about this or that, and he now began to confide in all those whom he felt he could trust, urging them to follow the Prophet. Many responses took place through him, and two of the earliest to respond to the call were a man of Zohra, Abdu Amr, the son of Auf, a distant kinsman of the Prophet's mother, and Abu Ubaidah, the son of Al-Jara of the Bani al-Harith. In connection with the first of these, Abu Amr, a precedent of importance was established. Amongst the most striking features of the revelation were the two divine names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. The word Rahim, an intensive form of Rahim, merciful, was current in the sense of very merciful and boundlessly merciful. The still more intensive Rahman, for lack of any concept to fit it, had fallen into disuse. The revelation revived it in accordance with the new religion's basic need to dwell on the height and transcendence, being stronger even than a Rahim, the all merciful, The name Ar-Rahman refers to the very essence or root of mercy, that is, to the infinite beneficence or goodness of God, and the Quran expressly makes it an equivalent of Allah. Invoke God or invoke the infidelity, God, good, Ar-Rahman, whichever you invoke. His are the names most beautiful. The name of goodness was very dear to the Prophet, and since the name Abdu Amr, the slave of Amr, was too pagan, he changed the new believer's name to Abdul Rahman, the slave of infidelity good, nor was the son of Auf the only man whose name he changed to Abdul Rahman. Some of the earliest responses were promoted initially by motives which could not be ascribed to any human attempt to pursue. Abu Bakr had long been known throughout Makkah for his ability to interpret dreams, and one morning he had an unexpected visit from Khalid, the son of a powerful Shamsite, said Ibn al-As. The young man's face still showed signs of having been recently aghast at some terrifying experience, and he hastened to explain that during the night he had had a dream which he knew must be significant, though what it meant he did not understand. Could Abu Bakr tell him the meaning of it? He had dreamed that he was standing at the edge of a great pit, and wait, was a raging fire so vast that he could see no end to it. Then his father came and tried to push him into it. And as they were struggling on the brick at the and as they were struggling on the brink at the moment of his greatest terror, he felt round his waist the firm clasp of two hands which held him back despite all his father's efforts. Looking around, he saw that his savior was Al Amin, Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, and at that moment he awoke. I wish thee joy, said Abu Bakr. This man who saved thee is the messenger of God, so follow him. Nay, follow him thou shalt, and shalt enter through him into Islam, which shall safeguard thee against falling into the fire. Khalid went straight to the Prophet, and having told him of his dream, he asked him what his message was and what he should do. The Prophet instructed him, and Khalid entered Islam, keeping it a secret from his family. It was about the same time that another man of Abdul Shams, a merchant, on his way home from Syria, was awoke one night by a voice crying in the desert, sleepers away, verily Ahmed had come forth in Makkah. The merchant was Uthman, son of the Umayyad Affan and grandson through his mother of one of Abdul Muttalib's daughters, Hakim al-Baida, the Prophet's aunt. The words sank into his heart, though he did not understand that what was meant by coming forth, nor did he recognize that the superlative Ahmad, most glorified, stood for Muhammad, glorified. But before reaching Makkah, he was overtaken by a man of time named Talha, a cousin of Abu Bakr, and Talha had passed through Bostra, where he had been asked for monk if Ahmad had yet appeared amongst the people of the sanctuary. Who is Ahmad? Who is Ahmad, said Talha, the son of Abdul Muttalib's son, Abdullah, and he is the last of the prophets. Talha repeated these words to Uthman, who told him of his own experience, and on their return, Talha suggested that they should go to his cousin Abu Bakr, who was known to be the closest friend of the man who uppermost in their minds. So they went to Abu Bakr, and when they told him what they had heard, he took them at once to the Prophet so that they could repeat to him the words of the monk and the words of the desert's voice. Having done this, they made their professions to faith. A fourth conversion, no less remarkable than these in the way it took place, was that of Abdullah ibn Masud, a young confederate of Zohra. Telling of it himself, he said, I was at that time a youth just grown into manhood, and I was pasturing the flocks of Aqaba ibn Abi Maud when one day the Prophet and Abu Bakr passed by. The Prophet asked him if I had any milk to give them to drink. I replied that the flocks were not mine, but entrusted to my care, and I could not give them to drink. The Prophet said, Hast the young ewe that no ram hath ever leaped? I said I hadn't brought her to them, having tethered her. Having tethered her, the Prophet put his hand to his udder and prayed, whereupon the udder swallowed with milk. Whereupon the udder swelled with milk, and Abu Bakr brought a boulder which was hollowed like a cup. The Prophet milked her into it, and we all drank. Then he said to the udder, Dry, and it dried. A few days later, Abdullah went to the Prophet and entered Islam. Nor was it too, Nor was it long before he had learned from him 70 surahs by heart, being exceptionally gifted in that way. And he soon became one of the best and most authoritative reciters of the Quran. The Prophet had been distressed by the period of silence from heaven, yet his soul still shrunk from receiving the tremendous impact of the divine word, which itself affirmed in a not yet revealed verse. If we sent down this Quran upon a mountain, thou wouldst see it prostrate in humility, rent as rent as under through fear of God. The impulse which had prompted him to cry out, cover me, still came to him at times. And one night, when he was lying wrapped in his cloak, they broke in upon his seclusion a divine command more stern and urgent than any he had yet received, binding him, grand man of the day of judgment, O thou who art wrapped in the cloak, arise and warn, the Lord magnify, their rent purify, defilement shun. For when the trumpet shall be blown, that shall be a day of anguish, not of ease for disbelievers. Another night soon after this, he was aroused by further commands telling him of the intensity of worship expected from him and his followers, and fully confirming his apprehensions of a great burden of responsibility that was to be laid upon him. O thou who art wrapped in the raiment, keep vigil all the night save a little, half the night or lessen than half a little, or add to it, and with care and clarity chant the Quran. Verily we shall load thee with a word of heavy weight. In the same passage was also the command, and invoke in remembrance the name of the Lord, and devote the self unto him with an utter devotion. Lord of the East and of the West, no God but He. Him therefore take, on Him place the reliance. The reliance, there came also other revelations, more gentle in tone, which confirmed and increased the reassurances already given to the Prophet, and on one occasion, visible to him alone, as was normally the case, the angel said to him, give unto Khatijah greetings of peace from her Lord. So as he said to her, O Khatijah, here is a Jibreel who greet thee with peace from the Lord. And when Khatijah could find words to speak, she answered, God is peace, and from him is peace, and on Jibreel be peace. The first adherents of the new religion took the commands addressed to the Prophet as applying to themselves. So, like him, they would keep long vigils. As to the ritual prayer, they were now careful not only to perform the ablution in preparation for it, but also to make sure that their garments were free from all defilement, and they were quick to learn by heart all that had been revealed of the Quran, so that they might chant it as part of their worship. The revelations now began to come more copiously. They were immediately transmitted by the Prophet to those who were with him, then passed from mouth to mouth, memorized and recited, a long and rapidly increasing litany, which told of the ephemeral nature of all earthly things, of death, and of the certainty of the resurrection and last judgment, followed by hell or paradise. But above all, it told of the glory of God, of His indivisible openness, openesses, His truth, wisdom, goodness, mercy, bounty, and power. And by extension, it continually referred to His signs, the marvels of nature, and to their harmonious working together, which testified so eloquently to the oneness of their sole originator. Harmony is the imprint of oneness upon multiplicity, and the Quran draws attention to that harmony as a theme for man's meditation. When uninhibited by the presence of hostile disbelievers, the believers greeted each other with the words given to the Prophet by Jibreel as the greeting of the people of paradise. Peace be upon you, to which the answer is, and on to you be peace. The plural being used to include the two guardian angels of the person greeted. The revealed verses of consecration, and of thanksgiving also played an increasingly significant part in their lives and their outlook. The Quran insisted, the Quran insists on the need for gratitude, and the sacrament of thanksgiving is to say praise be to to God, praise be to God, the Lord of the worlds, whereas that of consecration or dedication is to say in the name of God, the infinitely, the infinitely good, the all merciful. This was the first verse of being of every surah of the Quran, and following the example of the Prophet, they used it to inaugurate every Quranic recital, and by extension, every other rite, and by further extension, every act or initiative. The new religion admitted nothing profane. Thank you so very much for being with me. And we were reading chapter number 16, and the worship. And so now, finally, we are on Alhamdulillah. Now we are on chapter number 17, and warn the family, which we will be reading inshallah very soon. So keep watching me, and I'll be reading inshallah new books as well. So subscribe me and share my videos as well. And thank you so very much for joining me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. التماس دعا. جزاكم الله خيرا.